Sorry.
It looks awesome.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Kettle Late Night with Kettle Kitchen.
Blue.
Blue. That is so funny.
Who's got the giggles?
Yes, welcome everybody into the chat. Everybody that showed up on panel. Just for those of you that may not know, and we do have a new person with us tonight. So Giggles, Pam/Blue, is Blue Self-Reliance. JJ from Big Valley Living. Michelle's roaming around making stuff in the background. Daniel and Janet from Two Doctors Homestead. Lisa and there's Farmer in the Dale. Farm, and a 9-acre. And then joining us for the first time tonight is Tina from Southern Heritage Cooking. Welcome.
We have a new friend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Normally, we usually have Ginger, if not Ginger and Joey, up with us on Friday nights, but they're in a cold issue. Yeah. They're so cold they are actually condensating under their floor, which is turning to ice. That's how cold it is.
Wow.
Oh no.
That's not good.
So it's been a struggle all day. Pipes are frozen and they were wiped out. So
That's terrible.
They were going to try, but they didn't anticipate they'd be up long enough to be able to come on. But
yeah, that's tough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I want to say hi to everybody in chat. Dark Lord Minute, thank you for coming in. Lori, thank you for coming in. Rhonda, I loved your comment on my short video.
That was pretty funny.
Yes, thank you. My son, it's not Patricia Shepard. That's Isaiah. So Patricia Shepard's my son. Big Valley Living, I'm going to assume that's Michelle throwing in where she can, or is that JJ?
That's me.
Oh, well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Hands elbow deep in lumpia. Come on. How's she going to type with her
I don't know.
Can they seriously do?
So normally we've been doing homework, and whether I said there was homework last week or not, I thought let's just talk. Let's just chit chat, whatever anybody wants to talk about. It seems to be majority of our country is in the chill right now. Not everybody, but mostly everybody is. So, I just want to make sure that we don't forget about them and our thoughts are with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's new with everybody? Anything new? Anything different?
It's Friday.
Actually, I wanted to ask a question of Dark Lord Minute. Does he have a channel? Because I see him on the chats all the time, but I couldn't find a channel. And I assume it's a he, but I could be wrong.
Okay. So there's a storyline behind that one. Blue, all right. Would you like to tell that storyline?
Okay, so the Dark Lord Minute that we have in our chat is male. And he shares the channel with his sister, who is in other chats. So if it's a little bit more muted, you usually find that is Dark Lord Minute's sister and not himself. So yeah, we have our resident bowl licker in the chat here. His sister's a little bit more sedate. But no, he doesn't have a channel channel.
No.
All right. We were watching your video about the bull liquor.
I saw the back of him.
Yes.
Yes, he wouldn't turn around. He was very embarrassed that I actually caught him. I'm like, Daddy, sitting there going, "What are you doing?"
That's
and I
funny.
suddenly realized, and he just all of a sudden turned into this 5-year-old. I mean, my son's 31. And all of a sudden he turned into the 5-year-old who's stolen the bowl with the spatula, and he's like, "You can't see me."
We just finished our 8th batch of fudge, and everybody's on that mode. They're wanting to lick the spoons and the knives and the dishes and everything, and it's like, nope, wait. Yeah. Anybody else getting all prepped and ready
for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm going to make a batch of fudge tomorrow for my son-in-law. I've made some rum cakes and chocolate caramels, and
That's
and
good.
then, yeah, we're going to my daughter's for Christmas. And then we're having a Christmas here at our house on the 31st, on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, my
Cool.
husband's home for a few days. He got some good time off. And so, unfortunately, I have to work part of it. But
Uh,
yeah.
that's
We'll be making a little candy tomorrow, and then
Yep.
we'll go to Christmas tomorrow night, and then a Christmas on Christmas Day, and then whenever the kids can get time, we'll have Christmas next week with them at our house.
I'm looking forward to the day after Christmas shopping.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
The extra space sales.
Yeah, I was just telling my husband we don't have a ham, but I suspect that we will the day after.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, no, I cooked our ham
Sorry.
yesterday. I've got to cook the turkey today.
No.
And I've got to cook the lamb tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
lamb.
Yeah. Because we want that hot. So, the others is fine. It'll all go through the meat slicer. And we'll just warm it and use it as needed. But the lamb's got to be hot first off. Because,
We love
I-
lamb around here.
No.
yeah.
We don't have lamb. Like,
Oh, we love it.
I don't know many people in our area that eat lamb.
Right.
We have very
I like
we
lamb
have-
cake, like the butt of the lamb cake or the head of the lamb cake. For Easter, that lamb cake. That's the only lamb I like. But it's got to have all the frosting on it. Just lamb cake from the 70s.
I got it. I got it.
I had to think then because I had no idea. Because
I was
actually
like,
thinking people make
what?
It probably is lamb cake.
That's
In the
funny.
UK.
Right there. That's just funny right there. Come
It
on.
was funny. She had me until she said, the butt or the head. I'm like,
You had to call the butt or the head in my house.
oh, okay.
That was
Let's
like
just
the
go with
primo
it.
slice.
We'll just go with it.
No,
Brenda-
we have really good
Oh,
friends that they raise lamb
Yeah.
Yeah.
and raise it all natural, home raised lamb and have it processed, but they don't sell any in this area. It all goes to like
Go somewhere
KC
else.
metropolitan area or none of
What
it.
about goats?
Goats, same way a lot of people raise goats for
Yeah.
meat, but hardly anybody eats them.
Really?
What's the point in raising them? There's a lot of money
Yeah.
going into them.
Yeah.
Because it's
right.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sell them.
Well,
They
they
go
just raise them
high.
by head to sell by head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
And
parents
then
did
most
that
of
for a
them get
while.
shipped. So like at the
Are they doing the meat goats? Which ones are they?
there'll be boar
Yeah.
or Kiko or boar and Kiko cross, some Spanish. And then you've got dairy goat people, of course, that are milk goats, but are dairy cross with a boar billy. Now, a lot of what we see for goats here are 4-H or FFA show goats,
Yep.
Mhm.
for kiddos to show at the fair.
I do love a good 4-H show.
Yeah.
Every year I go.
We were
And Pig Day,
big-
it's like, wow, like I can't even get a seat in the stands on Pig Day.
Yeah.
we
Gotta go
were
early.
big into pig showing. We showed all species, but
Yeah.
pigs was the big thing. We went all over the country showing hogs with our kiddos.
Nice. See, I'm the person at the hog show that goes over to the side where all the kids have the hogs, and I walk around and they stick their little nose out, and I look at the kids and I'm like, "Can I kiss them?" And they're like, "Sure." And I'm like, I'm kissing snoots all the way down.
Well, I'm telling you, people
Yeah.
people used to think we were crazy. We're like, a pig will do anything for a marshmallow.
They will.
I mean, it's like
Absolutely.
crack. They will do anything for a marshmallow.
I'll do
Well,
anything for a marshmallow.
Yeah.
we would teach them to roll over or bag or do all kinds of stuff for a marshmallow.
They're
You
such
start
smart
scratching their
animals.
side and they just lay
They
down.
just fall over like you shot them.
Oh, wow.
Have you done that fork thing? Have you ever tried the fork trick with your hogs?
I don't know what that. I guess not. What is that?
Okay, so people who don't know, like if they can't handle their hogs the right way, Like my hogs, they're so used to us that I'll just go up to them and pat them on their belly, and they'll just fall on their side for bellies,
Yes.
you know. But if you can't, if you don't spend time with them, or if they're too sassy, then if you take a fork and you just go like this, straight up and down their back, by the time you get from their butt to the back of their ears, they'll just fall on the floor.
Really? We
You
never
just look it up on YouTube, because
heard of
there's
that.
vets. There's vets that use it if they get in, if they're trying to do something with the hog and they can't get it. It's just, and you don't even push hard. Whatever it is with that motion on the back of a hog's back, they'll just flop out.
Yeah, our youngest, when he showed, he used to just, I mean, I think it
He
became
would be known to crawl in there and take a nap with them.
take a nap with them. You know, he'd
Mhm.
scratch them, they'd lay down, he'd use them
I
as a
get it.
pillow. But
She used to do that. She would lay down with them and
I
stuff,
would-
sing
I-
them songs.
I
and
had a
tell 'em
pig that I
stories.
loved. Her name was Bubbles. I loved her so much.
Yeah.
And I used to lay down with her, and she would want belly rubs, and I would tell her the story of the 3 little pigs.
Yeah. She would. She would sit there.
But at the end of the story, they all decided to be friends, and she made them tea and crumpets, and the wolf built a house next to hers. That was the end.
Oh my Lord, you had too much time on your hands.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And now she's in the freezer. I mean, well,
Well,
she's probably
Exactly.
gone, but she
Yeah,
tasted
freezer
that
delicious.
story was
That's called raising with love, right there. The big
Yeah,
house.
it
every year, Rooster would be the little kid at the fair that he would be like, people would come up and ask him about his pig, you know, and he's showing them rub. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, this is where pork chops come from. This is the ham.
Oh yeah.
And they're all just, you know, this look on their face like you just
Yeah.
picked their grandma. They're like,
All right.
why does he know that? I'm like, because he
Right.
takes pride in that.
He's
Every
like,
year,
the one
I'm
that
gonna
was
eat this one.
every year the one that was his favorite, that's which one went to freezer camp for
Yep.
us.
Yeah.
Right,
I
yeah.
used to tell them, let me massage your bacon now. And then
Yep.
lay them on the ground.
That's what
give 'em
Rhonda
belly rub.
just said.
Massage your bacon.
Make them tender with love.
Make them
Yep.
tender with love. Yep.
I mean, we truly live by, you know, one bad day in their whole life. The rest of the time,
Yeah.
we pretty much overly love and spoil them. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's how
One-
we do too. That's how
One
it should
bad
be.
day of their life. What do you mean by that?
They
The last
die.
day. It's the last day.
That's the
When
freezer
they head
camp.
off
time.
to freezer camp.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And actually, it's not a whole day. It's like, you know,
A partial day.
a few minutes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
few minutes.
Exactly.
And
They
I don't know
don't
how
even know
deep
what
you want to get. Yeah,
No,
not
we're
knowing
good.
how deep
We're
you really
good.
want to get
We're
into
good.
it, but
We're good.
it's not even a bad like 2 seconds realistically.
Right.
But
Right.
it's
So one day I was sitting there on a live
Hi.
show. Hi.
That's my husband,
Hi,
Ken.
husband.
Come on in.
I got some suspenders just like those.
Actually, I do too. Honestly, I do
He loves
too.
his suspenders.
We'll have to do
I think
suspender
the
day next
problem is
time.
most people don't really comprehend where their food comes from.
They don't. No.
No,
No,
Right.
they don't.
I was talking with
Yeah,
somebody
no.
today. They were explaining to me that somebody doesn't like farm eggs. They will only eat store-bought eggs.
That's my
because
sister.
That's her
come
sister.
from-
Yeah,
because they come from a different place, and it's like,
right.
She
No,
thinks that
they
they're
don't.
somehow not sanitary or not good.
When we get them directly from the chicken,
Right.
like
I
literally,
want
you can tell they
Actually,
just
more
laid the egg.
sanitary.
She won't eat
right.
them. I also raised turkeys,
Yeah,
and I was the person that had to bring turkey for Thanksgiving, and she wouldn't eat it
Right.
because I raised it.
somehow it's not clean.
Somehow that
like the
turkey.
thing had never even been in the freezer.
Right.
Like we know what it ate its whole life. It was premium
Yeah,
food.
There was only like 2 people at Thanksgiving that would eat it.
Right.
A turkey who,
right.
you know, I used to talk to all the time, you know, and give treats.
Yeah, wouldn't
And
eat it. Yeah,
she wouldn't eat it. I mean, she
must be something
some
wrong with
people
it.
would. I think if they knew that turkey was in, you know, a big outbuilding so much that it can't even move,
right.
and
Yeah.
there's feces everywhere, and if people really knew what the living conditions were, but you put on it that they were free range because they gave 1 foot outside the door, which is all you legally have to do to call it free range,
Yeah,
is access to a piece of grass.
yeah.
But
Yep.
people don't get that.
does that change? I'm just curious because I don't know about free range specifications. Does that change from, I guess, county to county, state to state, or
No, that's federal.
Federal.
It's different over here in the UK.
It's what?
It's different over here in the UK. They have to have at least 2 hours outside.
Okay.
But they still don't have a lot of space to play in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll have an acre with like 10,000 birds.
Right.
You know, that's
right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
Right,
still
because
not a lot of room.
they had access to it for 2 hours.
They have
Right.
But they actually had to be
2
up
hours daily, which is why when lockdown occurred over last winter, all of the egg boxes had to change because you couldn't call them free range anymore because they all had to be in the barn for a certain amount of time. So for the first 6 months of this year, all we had were barn eggs because they don't do cage eggs over here anymore.
Good.
It's not done.
Has anybody read The Omnivore's Dilemma?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
It's by Michael Pollan. And if you read that book, I mean, he was talking in there about the cattle industry, but he also addressed the chicken industry.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how our chicken processors, when they're raised in these types of conditions, and they're raising these Cornish cross birds, and I think those are the most disgusting birds on 2 feet. But they walk in there and they just have dead chickens everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the bacteria and the filth.
Yeah.
And and they were talking about that they were processing birds that had actual tumors on them. And they were putting them through, and it's like, you know, we processed our own birds this year and they ain't no tumors, and I know what they ate and I know where they came from.
Exactly. Because we have a standard of how many tumors they can have.
I'm sure there are.
When you can slaughter.
That's gross.
I get it at the grocery store where they don't hurt animals. There's no animals harmed at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Somehow they're just in cellophane.
And my eggs were only, you know, they were able to range, 2 miles all by themselves all day long. So, everything's perfect for me.
Yeah.
That's, I go back to there was a group at one time that they were going around and putting stickers on the packages of the beef that, my name's Molly and I was eating grass yesterday and everything. And they're like, how can you eat that? And I'm like, I commented immediately. I said, medium rare with a baked potato with extra
right. Slap it on the smoker.
I would have looked at it and been like, where's the picture? I want to see how cute she was. Thanks, Molly.
I mean,
I think what people, I don't know.
There is a company over here that does that actually. It's and you get the story of the animal, and the company is actually called the Well Hung Meat Company. But it was what their name is.
She's already took up. I'm not sure what to go with this.
Don't Google it. Don't Google
it.
Yeah, don't Google it.
Just like whitehouse.org. Don't Google it.
You can Google it. It's fine. But yeah, they actually put a story of the animal with it. So, it keeps that actually rolling, which is important, Their meat is incredibly expensive though, because obviously it's raised by hand. So it's a very different product, and it's the kind of thing that we would only be able to get maybe once every couple of years because it is that expensive. You're looking at like half a week's wages just for a haunch of beef or something, So it's
and honestly, it doesn't have to be that expensive. It's just we don't have the means to buy feed in such large quantities like the big farms do. We don't have contracts with farmers growing our feed for us, so we have to buy it as if, even if we go straight to a mill, it still costs more than Purdue is getting it, because Purdue owns their own farm to grow their own wheat.
I was going to say, and even with that, growing it yourself, growing your own corn and everything, there's nothing cheap about it.
Right.
No.
I mean, a bag of seed corn's $300.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you still got to pay the diesel fuel and the fertilizer and everything else. there's nothing cheap about it because
It isn't, and it gets me where people don't understand that these large, and Dale, these large tractors, they're not going to run on electric. It's not. If you
there's
people,
no way possible.
if you want
Yeah.
your food, it is
Yeah.
never ever going to happen. They cannot get out there for the hours that they need to process your food on electric.
See, this is
Now-
where I reckon that a lot of the big farms are actually going to fall over, especially the big mono farms, because we're going to have to go back to grabbing everyone in the community to go and harvest the fields because
We can't even get
we
people to work at
aren't gonna be able to
McDonald's
get
here.
the
That will
tractor
never
and gas
happen.
from the tractors and stuff like that. So you're going to have to go back to where people are actually getting
Yeah.
together and actually doing that. You can't do that in a monoculture. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Mhm.
People
It's
don't
not
work
the way we
anymore
live.
like that.
It doesn't work like that anymore, but people
Yeah.
will want to eat, and it will get to a stage where people will have to do that if that's what they want to do to eat.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
love Leanne's giving some
Yeah.
facts over there from Mennonite Farmhouse.
Mhm.
And that one is a big
Yes.
eye opener for people.
Yeah,
Average tractor costs $720 per day to run.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
And a bag of seed corn will plant 3 acres. That I would want more than that out of
Yeah.
$300.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just want to say the
That's just
Mennonite
feeding it.
farmhouse lady, her
Yes, Leanne.
Leanne.
Leanne, I adore her. Love her.
We all do.
As I believe we all do.
Yes.
Oh, we
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
She has such a precious, precious heart.
Yep.
Yep.
Love her.
So, I want to talk, but I'm trying to keep it. Is anybody traveling for the holidays?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Mhm.
No.
We are not.
You travel a lot when you got a lot of animals.
Yeah, you guys can't go anywhere. Yeah.
What did you say, Tina? I didn't hear yours.
We're going to Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, well, there you go.
Nice.
That's a little bit of a travel. Not a lot, but a little.
We take the back roads.
Oh, well, there you go then.
So it doesn't feel
All
like
of our travels are going to be probably within
Within 8 miles.
8 miles of our house. So
There you go.
nice.
Tina, she heard you. She said thank you.
Oh,
You guys' back roads are very different to our back roads over here. Your back roads are like 2 cars wide and all that kind of stuff. Ours are
1.5
1
car.
car wide with 8-foot hedges on the sides. So
Yeah.
if you come across the tractor, you're backing up half a mile to let that thing
Wow.
pass.
Wow, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
and then
UK
you
country
take them
And
side.
you can't see further than about 20 yards in front of you, because then
Oh.
there's the next curve, and then there's the next curve. Yeah. They were built for horses. That was it.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because they didn't have to worry about 2 cars passing. They had to
No.
worry about 2
When I
horses.
say 2
Well, in that
cars,
case, I like our back roads better. I'm just
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so for Christmas dinner, is anybody making something they've never made before, something different?
my daughter's making figgy pudding. I'm not
Ooh.
excited.
Yum.
You're not excited.
My daughter she experiments, and we get to be the guinea pigs. And then you get to say, "Oh, Jennifer, that was so
It's so
good." Yeah.
I think Michelle's making Daz's ham.
Ooh, there you go.
How's
Leanne's
that?
making eggnog pie.
You want that?
Ooh, I love eggnog.
Good.
hate
That sounds
eggnog.
good. Eh,
I love
you
it.
don't like
I love
anything
it.
that's good.
I love eggnog.
Love eggnog.
Yeah.
She loves eggnog. I hate eggnog.
I'm with you.
I've got it in my
Jay.
coffee right now. Got eggnog.
Honestly, just can't get my head
There
around
you go.
it, and it just it's not. Mm-mm.
Honey and milk in my coffee.
I can't get my head around it.
Eggnog?
Honey and milk.
No, I mean it. Never mind, forget it.
I picked up on that, Tony. We're all right.
Good, thank you. I'm glad somebody did. So, has anybody done a interesting short lately?
You did.
Shorts about shorts.
Shorts
I
about
was
shorts.
supposed to say something about your short.
Christmassy.
Right.
Say that.
I was afraid when you turned it around. I'm like, don't turn them around. Don't turn them around. And he turned them around. I'm like, oh, there's going to be skid marks. Don't turn them around. Whatever
Just
you
for
do,
your
don't
knowledge, Daniel, they were brand new, never used.
They were out of the package.
Okay, right. You don't do that with mine. Don't turn them around on camera.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
I was watching it like, don't do it, man. Don't do it. No.
So here's the storyline behind that. So the other day, Ginger and Tiffany met up with each other. And I'm trying to push them over this cliff. They seem to be hung over, but they won't quite fall. And I keep telling them they need to do a live. They need to do a live. Oh, we'll do it. They never do it. Oh, we'll do it. They never do it. So last night I told Ginger, because Tiffany had already went to bed, I said, that's fine. I'm going to put out a short and I'm going to put out a challenge and we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I've looked at both of their channels to see what the rebuttal was,
There's
and
nothing
there's
there
no
yet.
rebuttal yet.
But
Well, to be fair, Tiffany's working this weekend.
Tiffany is working and she won't stop working until I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So
Oh,
I
wow.
will patiently await a rebuttal at some point. The other one is playing it off. Oh, I'm in a cold storm. I can't do nothing.
Right, she could
now."
get frostbite at this point.
We don't have internet and my house is frozen.
Yes.
Usual excuse.
Yes. Yeah.
My tongue is stuck to the floor.
Yes.
Our house in this extreme cold has done really good, other than one thing, and that's the lines going to the washing machine, the laundry washing machine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Froze.
Froze.
So we can't do any laundry.
No, that sucks.
Oh darn!
Oh,
That sucks.
oh, the humanity of not being able to do the laundry over
That
Christmas.
was
What a
terrible.
On
terrible,
Christmas.
terrible
Look-
thing to
Look what
happen.
Leanne said. I'm not airing out my laundry in a short. And Brenda, I'm not taking my weather back. It's
No,
for the
take it back.
whole world.
Mm-mm. We've had enough.
Yeah. It's too cold. I don't like it.
We had to put a jacket on today.
Oh,
I didn't come.
no.
I didn't come to Texas to have to wear jackets. I
Oh,
had
the
that
horror.
for
You had to
40-something
wear
years.
jackets.
in
Yeah, it's
Illinois.
a horror. Can
Like,
you-
I already had that. I
So-
moved.
I'm
I
gonna tell you-
moved 1,000 miles away from that.
Nobody wants to
Wait a
know
second.
how I work.
Hold on, Dale. Dale, you got to hold on just a second. I'm sitting outside. Granted, I'm smoking. It's my own problem. Okay. My own fault. I get that part of it. But I'm sitting outside with two coats on
Is he playing with
and
his short again?
this
Wow, that's
and
Yeah.
this. And I'm still
Still
freezing.
shivering. Yeah. All right. So I used to work in
Janet
the loop.
hops on and says, "Oh shucks, I had to put a coat on
a
today."
jacket, and I had to zip it up.
Oh my.
Oh, you
Oh
poor
my.
thing.
So,
So Tony, I
right.
used to work in the loop in
Yorkshire,
Chicago,
obviously.
Do
and it would be
what?
-4. I used to work in the loop in Chicago.
Right.
It'd be -40 wind chill, and still go outside for a cigarette. -40
Ah.
wind chill,
Yeah,
and you're standing in the street because it was on State Street.
I'm a win.
There's no wind blockers, and
No.
you're sitting there -40. trying to, like,
See, I was the person that had I had the high heels and a skirt to your knees and no pantyhose
Oh no.
and
no.
just not even a blazer on, and I'd run out in the Chicago in
'cause you grew up
zero
there.
because I
Yeah.
grew up there, and I would just scrape the ice off my car and turn my car on. And people would be like, "Put a coat on." I'm like, "Why? It's like 5 minutes. I'm not going to die in 5 minutes."
Oh,
Now I'm like, I have to put a coat on.
geez.
It's too
What-
cold. It's 20.
What were you gonna say, Blue?
I was going to say that Janet's obviously from Yorkshire. 'Cause there's a joke here that, all the Southerners need to put on three layers, put blankets up on their windows and doors, lock the cars up, and
Yeah.
anyone up north, you're just going to have to use your big coat. Because literally, Kenny has gone out that door again this morning in his
shorts. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I can't do
Oh,
that.
I was in
anymore.
shorts
We
all
had
day.
-14 last week. and
Sure,
we
you
went
were.
I can't. He
I'm
the other day he's
so
like, let's go
now.
get a coat. I'm like, I don't need a coat. He's like, it's gonna be 10. And I'm like, I'm just not going outside.
Oh, geez.
What do I need a coat for? I'm just not going outside.
That's why I
JJ,
wear
Yorkshire.
JJ
What were you
probably
gonna
doesn't
say,
even
Dale?
own a coat.
I own coats, but I never have to use them unless we're camping somewhere or going somewhere. But no,
Yeah,
I'm-
JJ
well,
gets it.
I
I'm
want to
shorts
say
about
hello.
90% of the time.
Hello to Mark from Little Ridge Farm, and hello, Corn Fed Life. Thank you for coming in, guys. Dale, what were you going to say a little bit ago?
You don't
Oh,
remember?
it's already gone. Sorry. Hello, Alvin Lewis. Thank you for coming in. Any interest? I'm trying to think of stuff to talk about. Come on, guys. So somebody throw a topic out.
Well, I had something for JJ on Big Valley. We were talking about animals and farming, and just to kind of loop back to that. So I used to live in Northern California. I grew up in Southern California. If you're taking I-5 south, north of the Grapevine, going through the valley, if you've ever driven that road, at some point you pass the pig farms. And you can smell it for miles.
And the cattle farm.
It's a cattle farm. Yeah, you can smell it for miles. I mean, it is bad. They have so many cows packed in so much space. You literally smell it before you see it.
Is it on cement or they have them on
I
pasture?
think I mix everything, I guess.
Is that a feedlot?
It is.
It's a big feedlot.
Yeah.
It's a huge feedlot. It's enormous.
Yeah.
It's just stink. Like you can roll up your windows because you know it's coming and you're still going to smell it for miles.
Why is California not
recirculate and all of that stuff, and you do not get by that one.
Yeah.
Tina, it reminds me of what Ellensburg smells like during the summer.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So
actually, it's
I
pretty
remember,
close.
I remember
Or even
what I
down in
was
Lewis
gonna
and Clark,
say.
Lewis
where
and
they have
Clark,
the paper mill
Yep.
down there. Oh
Up
my
Tacoma,
god.
same way.
Mhm.
Janet was talking about growing up in Chicago, and I remember my freshman year of college, the girlfriend I had at that time convinced me to go to Chicago for spring break.
Oh dear.
Her and all of her friends. It was the coldest. I'd never been that cold before.
It's cold. It's Minnesota cold. Honestly, it is because you get that lake effect.
Blowing off of
And
that
it
lake,
is-
it was so
Yes.
cold.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's warmer in Wisconsin because when you're in that area, you go to Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan. I would go to Michigan all the time, and I thought it was warmer in Michigan than it was when you were in Chicago when you got that lake effect.
Yeah, I spent some time in Syracuse in New York and get that lake effect. Get that lake effect off of the legs. Man, that's nasty right there. So when I left New York, it was 60 below zero. And when I hit Lincoln, Nebraska, when I was moving back, the wind chill was 100 below. It was horrible. And I have not looked back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Radio Jonesy popped in and said, "Hello, everyone from hot and sticky Tasmania."
Yeah, thanks.
Tasmania.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they're in their summer over there.
Yeah, it's summertime there. Yeah. That's wild.
It's been pretty cold for them over there, actually. Like, it hasn't really picked up to that summertime
Good.
proper heat yet.
Jay Strifter, thank you for coming in. So, just for curiosity, because some people may not know, for those of you, I know not all of us, and I'm including Blue and myself in that. I think everybody else does. What animals do you guys handle on your homestead / farm?
I have a Tony and a bear. Tony and a bear.
Okay, good point. JJ?
Right now, we don't have any. We've had chickens actually on at our house. Chickens were probably the biggest animal that we had outside of the dogs and all that.
Right.
They will come back again for sure.
You've already made that decision. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
at some point they will be back on this property here.
Okay.
Cool.
Daniel,
There's no better egg.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So right now, we have chickens and dogs. We had pigs. We're going to get pigs again. We're kind of taking the winter off, but in the spring we'll get pigs again.
Coonies.
Right. She wants coons this time, so we'll do the
Yay!
coons.
He wants Mangalisas.
Yeah, because they're supposed to taste really good.
I'm like, just give me some cute pigs for a
Mangalitas
while.
are better than coonies for charcuterie reasons. If you
Ooh,
want one that
okay.
you can do both with, you want the cooney, but the Mangalita has that extra fat layer that you want for charcuterie. So if that's what you want to do, then that's
See,
why
I
you
worry
get the
about
Mangalita.
having to raise a Mangalisa to 18 months because they root just like a feeder pig. And
Yeah.
we usually raise our feeders for, 8 to 10 months, and they do some damage to the area.
Right.
So I was thinking to heal the land, if we got coonies, they're not rooters, they're
Yeah,
grazers.
They last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about turkeys or pheasants. I'm going to
I
build.
want turkeys.
She wants
back.
turkeys,
I
so we'll
love
get turkeys. We've raised turkeys before. We'll do turkeys again, but I'm gonna build a new kind of turkey home
Mhm.
out there. We had them in a 10x10 before. Build a proper turkey home, probably in the
I
spring.
want an emu, but he isn't. So.
You don't want an emu.
Emus.
He's not into the
Emus aren't
emus.
pets. They're really not.
There's a
pets.
lady down the street that has emus,
The
and
emus, yeah.
Yes, but think about the scrambled eggs you can make with those.
think of the meat. I heard it tastes like ostrich, and ostrich,
Ostrich
is
is good.
delicious. I'd raise ostrich if I could too.
Up in Washington, there's an ostrich farm. I used to live
There's
in that area.
ostrich and emo farms all over the place up here. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah. I used to live near one. I got some ostrich meat once from there.
The only thing
Emu's
we
not
don't
as
do is
big
cows.
as it used to be, but it's still there are still some up here that I know of.
And quail. I'd like to get into quail, but quail feels like something I can add on to my existing coop. It's more like you don't need a lot of.
You want to do quail? There's your man,
He's
right?
the quail man, yeah.
And that's something that we've considered as well.
There.
New quail, yeah.
Not a lot of meat
so-
on a quail.
But the
Oh.
eggs they produce is
But it's amazing.
You know what? My youngest boy, he's 39 now. So they decided they were going to go out hunting. So he comes back with these quail. Now he's used a shotgun
Oh, dear. There's nothing left.
to get these quail. Oh, there's plenty left, but there's
You
plenty of
think
buckshot in them too.
pellets inside of it.
Great.
Yeah, they're full of buckshot.
Yeah.
And I think that they are so cute that it was just like, I told him, Jeremy, how could you do that? He says, oh, I just wanted to try it, Mom. And it's like, why ain't cooking that? I ain't doing it. I cooked a lot of things. When you guys were talking about frog legs legs do something obscene in your frying pan when you put them in hot grease. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
We still were talking about that afterwards about whether that was true or not. That is so
Yeah,
funny.
no,
It
they
is so true.
They do.
It
The
is
first
very
time I ever
true.
did that, I was shocked at the obscenity in my frying pan.
So
I told my husband I didn't realize that I was cooking a porno meal.
Food porn. What were you going to say, Dale? Which one?
So on ours, we have, of course, we've done beef. We pretty much stay with hogs all the time and all different breeds. A lot of commercial breeds,
Are they?
chickens,
Thank you.
quail. We do pasture raised Cornish that are nothing that bad. In fact, we've got 2 Cornish that were saved.
Are they cross? Cornish cross?
They're Cornish cross. Yeah.
Well, I
And,
can tell you some horror stories about some Cornish cross.
Well, everybody.
Yeah, we've
told me
raised
that
Cornish cross a couple
you don't-
times too.
You don't want to keep them, you know.
Well,
we've got Cornish cross
Because
that are
they'll get
because
too
they'll-
big and they'll
they'll
start breaking their
breaking down
legs
and everything.
oh, they
We've
were.
got a
they
rooster
were-
and a hen They're huge, and they're just walking
Wait, have you been able to get them to mate? Have you been able to incubate eggs? Because I thought that you couldn't incubate eggs with the Cornish
She doesn't
because that
lay.
breastbone's too big.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
You move them on pasture enough every day.
They're dirty. They stink.
They're not a clean chicken.
They
No,
make
if
them
you
No,
don't
I mean they're
every
cleaner
day,
than
they get
ducks
dirty,
though.
yeah.
Ducks
Yeah,
are
ducks
gross.
are
and
gross.
they're cannibals.
Yes.
Yes, they're cannibals,
Well,
and
any
that
chicken
Well, see,
is.
I know if I fall down and have another heart attack and it is in the chicken coop, those bees
they're
will
gonna
eat
eat
me.
you.
I know in a second they will. I always have to deal with my hogs though. Like if this is it and I'm it and today's my day and I land in the hog pen, y'all can eat me. It's okay because I'm gonna eat you. So I let the girls know.
Are you trying to say turnabout's fair play?
I said, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
That's what
they
I-
always smell.
Yeah.
I feed them. I'll feed them, and then I have to go like this to let them know that I guess the treats are done. Treats are done.
Yeah.
Don't eat the fingers.
we did the Cornish cross this year and some turkeys and of course chickens, but I cannot tell you how many of those Cornish crosses that I put out of their own misery and mine.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
Before 8 weeks.
Before 8 weeks.
yes, they're
Really?
gross. They're gross. They were eating the ass end out of each other.
I
And
have
it
never
wasn't
done that.
and it wasn't because of not enough food.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of that. And I thought, I don't know, I've got some mentally ill birds here. And so
Now I've had baby quail do that before
Yeah,
because they have to have 30+% feed,
well, I just
protein feed.
Did you check the area to see if there were mites in the area?
It could be
Because I know
mites.
chickens will go after butts if they have mites.
oh no. I had no mites. These were free range. They were just disgusting. They were mentally ill. I don't do
Animal lector.
Get
Right.
you some Red Rangers. You'll like them better.
well, that's funny because my husband was talking about the Red Rangers this year because I have some birds up there right now, and all of the turkeys that I raised this year, coyotes got one of them, and then I
Aw.
had to wring the necks on the other two because they got sick. I don't keep a sick bird.
right.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and but I've got some hens up there right now and a rooster. It's kind of funny about that little rooster. He was the littlest guy up there, and they were killing him up there. So I took him out and I put him back into the incubator box by himself for 2 weeks, and you wouldn't believe how big he was in just 2 weeks when I took him out. And I put him back in that coop up there. He's bigger than all of the rest of them, and he's crowing. And every time I go up there and he starts bossing those hens around and I see this, that's what you get, you little bitches. Go ahead and pick on them again.
Yeah, they don't forget. They will pay them back.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, he's going to grow up and you're going to be sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the
So
quail are such a fun. I mean,
They're
I
so
love them. They're
Yeah.
good for eggs. They're good for meat. They don't take up a lot of room. They're relatively clean if you make your quail hutch right. I mean, everything falls out the bottom.
That's why I thought it was one of. No, you already asked me about those two. So,
But
yeah, what she said.
Well, we do the chickens right now. We've done steers and hogs and chickens up there. What's really weird is the chickens are laying in this cold weather because we keep them warm. And then we raise the full blood boars. So we got
or
those
goats. Yeah.
boar goats. Yeah. Oh, I got a buck up there. Oh, he's so stinking handsome. I'm telling you what, he's beastly looking.
We used
I'm-
to raise boar goats.
We used to raise show
Did
boar
you?
goats.
Oh, did you do
We
the?
love
full-
them.
They're so affectionate, aren't they?
They are.
I
They
really.
would sit out there and cry and yell
Yes, the minute they see you.
until you
Yes.
open the door and they seen you, and all their little tails would go crazy, and then shut up.
Well,
You shut
even
the door, they'd yell for you.
We had
That's
she,
funny.
my daughter. She showed her when she was younger and we kept her. What was her name? I can't remember her name. But anyways, we bred her, and that goat would not have her baby until Aubrey got home from school and was there with her.
It's amazing how attached the Boers get to you.
Yes.
Our buck out there, I mean, he's got complete control over that pen up there. And he's taking care of the ladies up there now.
They talk to you and carry on.
Oh my gosh. And he jumps up on the fence and, you know, he'll put his face right there. He's licked me twice in the mouth. And I've already had this conversation about kissing him. And, you know, it's like, we can't kiss, you know.
He's like, yes, we can.
No Frenchies.
Yeah.
You know, there is something to, you know, they warn you that a buck will fall in love with his lady farmer owner.
Oh, I've thrown him to the ground already. I don't think he's going to fall in love with me.
They'll try to court you and everything and stuff.
Well, he is super sweet and he can just court away.
So, change the subject a little bit. I've been working for about 6 months, and I want to know your guys' opinion on something.
Sure.
What do you think of my new logo?
Is that
the
what
tongue
that's
one?
for?
Is that what that is?
The green one up there. What do you
Oh, I
think?
just saw that. I don't like it.
I don't know that would drive traffic to your cooking channel.
Well,
Yeah.
green in the face, you know.
Something about it says food poisoning, Tony.
I'm not even worried about that as much as I am the copyright issue I'd have to deal with first.
Oh my
Now,
god.
did you spend 6 months just on the
On
face?
the circle alone.
On the
Just
circle
drawing
alone.
the circle?
Yeah.
Perfect in the
It's
circle.
perfect.
Yes.
I will tell you,
Yes.
it's precise.
Right. 1 pixel at a time.
Look at Leanne. She says it's a copycat. I mean, that's just rude. You guys cracked me up. There. Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to go back to weird things happening in fry pans, just very quickly. I've done frog legs and that's happened, but one thing we used to do when we were chefing was we would test the apprentices after we've taught them how to do something. We would get them to do it on their own. And one of them, our favorites, was pheasant. And if they didn't actually prep it properly, something really extraordinary would happen, and we would sit in the restaurant and wait for it, because we'd know which one it was who was going to do this before, you know, we'd go out there. So we'd be sitting in the restaurant area because obviously the place was shut. It was on the day that we were shut when we did it. And we'd be testing them on how they prep their pheasants. And 9 times out of 10, without about 15 minutes of it being in the oven, about 6 minutes of it being in the oven, we would sit back and we would wait for it. And we'd be sitting there and we'd have our cups of coffee and we'd be sitting there and we'd be waiting for it. And all of a sudden the screaming would start. Because if you don't crop a pheasant, they have a voice box that goes in and out.
Really?
What?
Yeah, they have a voice box that works in and out. So if you don't crop it properly, you have a headless pheasant that is screaming at you from the oven.
Oh my God.
That is
It's
hilarious.
the most hilarious thing ever.
That's crazy.
I mean, obviously, when it's first happening to you, it's not. But you know.
That is awesome.
JJ's like, I want one of those.
And we had one girl who actually fled out the front door because she thought
Yeah.
she was possessed.
She's being haunted by the pheasant.
She thought she was being haunted. It was possessed. The whole thing was
my goodness.
out that door and never came back. It was just
She probably never even ate there because it was a haunted restaurant.
She's probably been a vegetarian ever since then.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
She's the girl that puts the stickers, Meet Molly. This is who you're eating. That's
Exactly.
probably her.
Yeah,
She started
right,
it.
right. Yep. That's funny.
Rhonda Towery says,
I know.
witchcraft.
If you need it to duck call and you're out hunting, you can always use a duck and blow through it,
Yeah.
and you can use it for a duck call as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
A duck or a rubber duck or a regular duck?
Rubber ducky.
Real duck.
Cool.
Your first one that
I'll
you
just-
shoot.
I'll just go
All right,
get
all
one of
right.
Luna's toys and go scrank, scrank, scrank. So, oh
Funny,
boy.
actually, Tanner makes the same noise when he's in trouble, and I've grabbed his toys.
So I
what-
want to know
Yes.
if you had all the land that you could have, money was not an option. You had all the land. What livestock would be your dream to have on your little farmstead land area? And money's not an option.
Oh.
And let me preface it with, you also have enough money to pay people to take care of them if you don't want to do that.
So,
Well,
so
you-
money,
Ooh, I
money
know,
is
look at
not an
Blue.
option, literally.
Money
There's-
is not literally
I mean,
not an
a
option.
stipulation, not an option.
You're like
No.
Bill Gates rich.
Like Kobe beef.
What would you raise
Great white
on
sharks.
your land?
Because I'd be giving it away to everybody who needed it more than I did.
All I know, I don't even think I'd worry about livestock. I'm just growing saffron and vanilla beans. That's what I'm
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
would do moose. I want to kiss a moose on the nose really bad.
Yeah.
That's one of my dreams, kiss a moose on the nose.
As you climb the ladder
not
to do
included-
it.
not
I never
including
realized how tall they
Right.
were.
It will probably have to be dead for that to happen. I'm sorry.
Well, I want it to be sedated, not dead.
Sleepy.
Yeah. Their bodies, they're just like, when I look at the moose, their
That's
body just amazes me because their body is so huge and they have these little stick legs. Like, how do they, and their heads are just massive. And it just amazes me that they don't just tip over.
Skip leg day. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
That's what happens when you skip leg day.
Happens.
Yep.
So,
I think here I would probably have heritage breeds, like really rare heritage breeds, things like
Yeah.
ballet, sheep, the little black face ones with the little black socks, and they're all really,
Oh,
really
yeah, yeah,
fluffy.
yeah. They don't look real. They're cute.
No, they're really, really cute. I'd want Welsh black cattle. I'd want Jacob's, which is it's a sheep, but it's
It's
very
locked
similar to a goat as well. It's kind of that almost crossover kind of thing. I would definitely want some Indonesian black chickens. And I know that sounds really weird because it's the completely wrong country, but I would put them in my eco dome like they have over at the Eden Project, where I would have all my tropicals. So I would have those chickens in there working like a little permaculture thing, because quite frankly, I would quite happily have a goth garden of animals and flowers and vegetables and things, because actually I used to in Australia have like a little goth garden that was out the front of the garden and out in our front yard that everybody used to get very scared about, which kept people away, which was great.
Well,
but yeah,
funny story, Blue. A little bit of 9 acre trivia. That's how we got started into chickens, was AM Samani.
really,
Chickens is how we got started.
wow.
We made
Did
some
you like
money off
them?
things.
Did you like them as a bird? Because there's
They're
a
horrible. They're a
They are?
horrible layer. They're not
Okay.
good for meat. But people
they always have them for sale
crazy
here.
for 'em.
Yeah, people go nuts for them.
We
Yeah,
were
but see,
selling
they're-
day old chicks. Day old, we would hatch them. Day old chicks for $25 a piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yep.
But that's how we got started in chickens, because
Yep.
until 3 years ago, this guy right here hated birds.
Yeah.
Scared of birds, hated birds. I thought they were the creepiest animal ever. My friend talked me into getting into those Samanis, and
Yeah.
It's too much work for us. I mean, it's just they're like I say, they lay like 3 eggs in 7 days.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, they do.
I got
It's
some of
about
those girls
normal for Southeast
out in the
Asian
coop.
varieties.
They're not those breeds,
Mhm.
but yeah. I call them yard art.
Yeah. See, in Southeast Asia, where they come from, that's normal. They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of meat on them because they don't need to keep warm. Okay,
Yeah.
number one. So they don't have a lot of meat on them. If they do end up killing a bird, it's because they need to eat. They don't have meat birds and egg birds. They've just got birds.
Birds. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So, and the eggs don't get used in the same way as we use them. We don't, they tend to put them in things to make it go further.
Right.
So, it's not I have to have 6 eggs to feed my family for breakfast. It's 1 egg will feed 6 people in my family because I will mix it in with rice and other things to make it go that extra mile. So, they're all do full purpose birds, but like I said, they're a lot smaller. They don't do as much, and so those kinds of birds they're not what you expect. Whereas the birds in the West have been bred to have more meat on them if they're meat birds, to lay more eggs if they are egg layers, but we use them in a different way than they do there. And to be honest, I kind of like their way a bit better, to be fair.
Curiosity's killed me being a cooking person.
Yeah.
When I take one of those chickens, which are black, and then make a blackened chicken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They're dark. Their meat's dark.
All of the flesh from the inside out on an AM Samani is black.
Right.
No.
It's all completely black, so you end up with a black chicken.
No, I want to make blackened chicken.
Well, you still make it
because they're kind of
blackened.
gray when you cook it.
Yeah.
Blacken that blackened chicken.
You can
How
just
dark
burn
can
a
you
regular
get that
chicken
chicken?
for
That
that.
just went way over the top. Never mind. Forget
Just
it.
burn a regular chicken for that. You don't need a special chicken.
I get it.
Yeah, I know, right? And the other thing is as well, they tend not to fry them. They tend to put them in a pot for soup.
Right. Right.
So it's cut down a lot smaller and it goes a lot further. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
I've thought about
I've
this.
never eaten one of those black
actually
ones.
sitting here. I'm like, I would have a pretty good herd of like Kobe beef,
Yeah.
Black
Wagyu.
Angus,
Yeah.
something like that. And I love Barred Rock chickens. I don't know why, because they're so nice. The ones
They're
that
big and they're cool.
Yeah, they're
I want
really
some.
awesome. I love Barred Rocks.
Those are the tiniest chickens in our coop right now.
I'm missing the pronunciation of what it's called. Could you say it again?
Barred Rock, B-A-R-E-D.
Barred.
Barv Rock.
B-A-R-D.
D. Sorry. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so they're black and they have white specks, but they've always been the nicest girls. We've had all kinds of different ones, black sex links and all of these things.
I'm not a fan of black sex links.
Yeah,
not at all.
Actually, they're beautiful. They're beautiful in the sun. Their feathers are.
Yeah, they're pretty. They'll shimmer green.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. But
They're just mean. I think they're mean birds. I don't like mean birds.
The girls that we had were really wonderful. They were so sweet. And actually, here comes Michelle.
It was those white chickens that killed him.
Oh.
Oh.
We had bears.
Yeah.
See, how can you not love that?
That's the picture of Ricky
That's the black
Tyrone.
Yep,
Right.
that was Ricky
That's
Tyrone.
Tyrone. We got a Leroy Jenkins in the coop right now.
That's it. I need a bad Leroy Brown.
Is that a rooster, Tony?
Yeah.
So is-
That's
Actually,
all black chicken.
Dale sent me that, so you have to ask him.
That's my rooster.
Yeah.
So that's your cock shot, is what you're saying?
Oh,
This is supposed to be G-rated.
Oh Lord.
Oh my!
It is late
That
night.
works. Is that the kind of picture you're sending now?
Please, Don't.
I take
Okay.
that
Okay, hold
responsibility
on.
to being a bad influence on everybody
Dale,
else.
don't ever bring show and tell to Tuesday or Sundays. Daniel, zip it.
It's a rooster.
It is a G-rated show.
Yes. It's our late night show. So
Yes.
Actually, funny story about Ricky Tyrone. Last time we had a polar vortex, we moved. I went because we were raising these AM Samanis, and I wanted to take such good care of them. I went and bought a brand new little one of those Orscheln's Tractor Supply little coupe, to just put Ricky Tyrone and his three
And his girls.
girlfriends in.
Yeah.
And I did it about a week before that polar vortex got here. And I put them in there. And for a week straight, Ricky Tyrone would never go up in it. He would just sit there underneath that coupe and crow. Back and forth, back and forth. The polar vortex come in, and he sat there and did that while it snowed and carried on.
Yeah.
And the next morning I go out there and he's just froze solid, like mid-stride.
Oh dear.
He would not go up in it.
Some birds are not the brightest of the bunch.
Dale,
I think it's not that he's not bright, it's that he's protective and he doesn't want to go in there because he doesn't think that he can do his job if he's locked in there with them.
Right.
What he can do is stop
And
them
I
from
tried
being
to.
broken in.
So when I would try to put him in, he would attack me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dale, Leanne said her kids are listening.
Uh-oh.
She has 4-legged kids, not 2-legged kids, though. So.
Very one.
JK, even if I had kids, they'd be in bed.
Because it's
Yeah.
1 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
All right, guys. Well, it is 1 a.m. and it is Christmas weekend, so I'm just going to go ahead and we'll stop there. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I want everybody to have safe.
You can't stop. It means I have to go and do some work.
Well, I didn't say you had to leave. I just said I'm stopping the live, so it's fine.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas,
Happy
guys.
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Michelle.
Happy
Hi, Michelle.
Hanukkah. Happy
I've
Kwanzaa.
really enjoyed listening to your conversation.
Did you finish your task?
Oh, goodness, no. I have 45 more to wrap.
Yeah, that's
no,
going to
no.
take some time.
Yes. Lucky you.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Thank you for
all.
coming. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Tina, thank you for
Yeah.
coming. You're always welcome back.
So nice to meet you, Tina.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Hey, Tina.
Nice meeting everybody.
All right. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Good night.